Okay, mathematicians, welcome back. So for today's number sense routine, we are going to go back and do one of our favorites, number of the day. And today's number of the day is going to be 165. So I'll give you a few seconds to write that on your paper. And also don't forget to write it out in words. You can follow along with me or just copy what I have on screen. And don't forget, if you're watching this at home, get out a piece of paper and follow along with us. The best way for us to improve our math skills is to actually practice what we see in the videos. And I really appreciate those students who are doing that already, who are watching the videos, doing the work, and then submitting the work that they do on top of the homework that you turn in. That is just simply amazing. It goes to show how much you really are trying and embracing this whole experience with distance learning. But anyways, let's go back to our number sense routine. So make sure you have 165 on the top of your paper. You wrote it out in words. And as usual, we're going to have 3 minutes to show off our thinking. And then we're going to come back together, go over some of the ideas I wrote down, maybe find some connections between the ideas you already have on your own paper. Then we're going to have 1 minute to sort of go back and add to our thinking, and then we'll come back and talk again. Are you ready? So 3 minutes, and 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and stop. Okay, let's come back together. Sorry for that breaking camera. My battery pretty much died as soon as the timer went off. So let's look at some of the ideas we came up with and see if we can find a connection to maybe things that you might have come up with at home. Ready? So I started off over here, and the first thing I did, or the first thing that came to mind, was for me to look at 165 and break it down into hundreds, tens, and ones. So the first thing I did was look at the hundreds place, saw there was 100 there, so I put 100. I looked at the tens place, saw there were 6 tens, which is 60, and which is why I put 60, and then looked at the ones place, saw there were 5 ones, so I put 5 right there. But then I started thinking, wait, how else can I break down 100 plus 60 plus 5? And if you notice down here, mathematicians actually started to try and find doubles. Like right here for 60, I went and thought, wait, I could break down 60 into 2 30s. And then right here, I broke down 100 into 2 50s. And then right here, I even started to think, wait, I can break down 50 even more into 25 and 25. And so if you saw right here, I got a little bit carried away with how far I was breaking down numbers. And then right here, this is something that I'm actually a little bit proud of. I was able to break down 165 into friendly numbers. Do you see all those 20s, all those 10s, and all those 5s? That's something that I'm going to encourage you to try and do at home whenever you are practicing number of the day with me, is to see if you can break down a number all the way down into friendly numbers. So into 20s, 10s, 5s, and even 2s. Do you think you can try that at home next time? Great. But then I remembered, you know what? I always tend to, and this is my sort of pattern in thinking, whenever I'm doing number of the day, I almost immediately go to doing strategies with addition. So I remembered that pattern in my thinking and in my work habits. So I stopped myself and I tried to do some with subtraction for just a little bit. And then afterwards, my last idea before the timer rang was to do some skip counting by tens. Did you come up with any ideas that were similar? Maybe something were different? Are you inspired by something I did to do something similar? Great, because we're going to have one more. So sorry about that, my cap fell off. Great, because we're going to have about 1 more minute to show off more of our thinking or to add to our thinking. Ready? And 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's come back together. So, do you remember when we did 160 and we were trying to see if we can use multiplication to do some number sentences? Well, I remember that when I had my extra minute, so that's what I try to do. Because I don't want to forget any of the great work we've been doing with multiplication. I want to keep practicing it. So, what I thought of is, you know what? This one seems to be very easy for me to try to find groups of. So what I did, if you notice because I was pointing as I was doing some of this work, is that I was counting out how many groups of 20 I saw. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4. So I wrote 4 groups of 20 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 groups of 10. And then I counted how many groups of 5 I saw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 groups of 5. And if you add it all together, it leads to 165. And then I did something very similar with the work that I did right here. So I saw 2 groups of 50, and I did these little parentheses to show that this is the first group that I added together, and 2 groups of 30. And again, I added these parentheses to show that that was a group that I added together. And then I added the leftover 5. Did you do something similar? Did you do something different? Well, great work. And don't forget, if you at home do this and you have a paper where you did this work or this kind of work, then don't forget to submit it with the work that you turn in with your math assignment. We would love to see that you're following along with the videos and doing and practicing your best at home. Okay, well, thank you for working with me today. I can't wait to work with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.